Welcome. I'm Mike Broomhead. We're starting the show off a little differently today. I'd like to start by remembering the start of the latest Israel-Hamas war. On October 7th of 2023, Hamas-led militant groups launched a surprise attack on Israel. They targeted communities near the Gaza Strip, military bases, the Nova Music Festival. Around 1,200 people were killed and over 250 hostages were taken. In January of 2025, an initial ceasefire was agreed upon, along with the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. As the war continues, so do the effects of October 7th attacks that began this heartbreaking war. Our next guest knows this situation far too well. In fact, he was a hostage held for 505 days by Hamas. Omer Shem Tov joins us in studio. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You were at the music festival.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through when you knew something bad was happening and what happened next?
Yeah, so I came to the festival with some of my friends, including Maya and Itai Regev. They're both former hostages. We were having fun in the party, just dancing, you know, we are young, 20 years old, just having fun. And in exactly 6:29, Hamas started to launch missiles into Israel. For us, you know, it's a usual thing. Yeah, every now and then there is a missile attack by Hamas. I remember the production. They stopped the music, and one of the producers, he came up to the stage and told us to leave the area, to clear the area, to go to the parking lots. We stood there at the parking lot. After maybe an hour, my dad gives me a call. And he tells me, Omer, it's not only a missile attack, there is terrorists coming inside Israel. Now, even at that time, I thought, you know, maybe it's 6 or 5 terrorists. It's nothing too big. It will all be over soon. And as time goes by, you know, we start hearing gunshots. And we start to see people running and just dropping down on the floor, getting shot. We run from a place to another, to another, to another, and just to save ourselves. And you know, just maybe after 2 hours or so, I realized that it's an unusual thing. It's not any other attack.
So this, how long was this going on before you and your friends were taken?
Maybe for 3 hours. Yeah, I was taking at 9:40, 9:45. Yeah, approximately. We were running. As I recall, I get a phone call as we were running in open fields. It's an unknown number. Yeah, and I answer the phone, and there is Ori Danino on the other side. Ori, I've only met him 2 hours before the party. He's a friend of mine. And Ori left the danger zone and he already got to safety. He saved some people and he got to safety already. He could go home. And he gives me a call and he tells me, Omer, send me your location. I'm coming to get you. And I send him my location. And as we run, I can see him and I wave him. He stops next to us. Maya and Itai, they go in the back. I go in the front next to him. And we start driving in the fields, and we get to a road, and we take a right turn. And as we take a right turn, I can see 2 vehicles of the Hamas. They're blocking the roads, pickup trucks. And as we see them, Ori is screaming, everybody crouch, get your heads down. And we crouch, and they start opening fire. And you know, I sat in the front. I got the bullets right next to me. I remember the sounds of the whistle, of the bullets coming next to my head, going next to my head. And I remember Maya, she's sitting in the back, a good friend of mine, and she's speaking on the phone with her father, and she's screaming, Dad, I've been shot, I love you, I'm sorry, I'm about to die. And I look left and I see Ori opening the door, and he starts running away. And I'll say now, Ori, he was captured after a couple of hours after, by Hamas, and he was held in captivity for 11 months. And after 11 months, he was murdered by the terrorists, and his body was brought back to Israel. And I remember the Itai, Maya's brother, the shooting stops, and Itai, Maya's brother, is screaming, "Omer, drive." So I'm putting the car in reverse, and I'm trying to press the pedal with my hand, and the car didn't move, and it's luckily for us, it didn't move. And I see two terrorists coming to the car. I raise my hands in the air, and one of them, he comes up from the driver's side, and he pulls me out. And I remember him, he's taking me close to in front of their vehicle, pushing me to the floor, starts kicking me, spitting on me, and he's doing like this victory position, this victory pose. He puts his leg over my back, and he ties his hands behind my back. And then I look back to the car, and I see the terrorists grabbing Maya and Itai. They're both shot in the legs. Maya's leg, it was in a very critical condition. I remember I saw her leg hanging on strings. And we were there for a couple of minutes. They load us up in the back of the truck, sitting on us. All the eight terrorists just sit on us. And after maybe 5 minutes, we were inside Gaza already.
What were the conditions like in captivity?
So, at the first 53 days, I spent time. Maya, she was at the hospital in Gaza, and I spent time with Itai. In those 50 days, we could see how the conditions just went bad from every single day. So if it's less amount of food, and we were moved from apartment to apartment inside Gaza. There was this one night they dressed us up as women, and we had to walk around in Gaza just to get to another place, to another apartment. And after 53 days, Maya and Itai, they were released in a hostage deal, and I stayed there alone. And they took me down to the tunnels, and I remember me walking in the tunnel for maybe an hour and some minutes, and I get to this small cell. Yeah, it's 40 meters deep under the ground. They push me inside the cell, and they close the cell door. And as they go away, they had flashlights. As they go away, it becomes complete darkness, pitch black. You can't see anything. And I spent 50 days in this tunnel, in most of the time complete darkness. And I was starved badly. It got to a point that in the last week, I had a biscuit a day, a small biscuit a day, that I had to divide it throughout the day. How would I eat it? And I would drink small sips of salty water. And I didn't shower now for 80 days. I could barely stand up. I was so weak. I remember me feeling the bones on my shoulders and my rib cage. And after those 50 days, I moved to another tunnel. It was a bit bigger. The conditions got a bit better. And I spent my next 400 days there in this tunnel.
Would they speak to you? What did they say to you? Were they telling you they were going to kill you? What was the communication?
A lot of times they told me that they will kill me. Luckily for me, I can say about myself that I can make connections with almost anyone. Yeah. So I could make this kind of a relationship with them. What I did is I worked for them. I cleaned and I cooked, and I used to dig in the tunnels and used to do any electrical jobs, and I was like a plumber to them as well. And I just I worked for my let's say, I don't know, so just that they will treat me okay, not very bad, okay, but still they would curse me, and they would spit on me, and they would treat me like a dog. There is times that they don't give you really any food, and it really depends on times and the situation, and so.
What gave you hope? What kept you hopeful?
For me, I came from a very optimistic home. My parents always used to teach me that there is always hope. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, it's God. I found God in the best way possible there. I remember me waking up and saying thank you to God. In Judaism, we say modani, like thank you for bringing my soul back to my body, and thank you for the maybe it's small amounts, but the food that there is on my plate. Thank you for the air in my lungs. Thank you for everything that I have. Thank you for my family that are home safe. And I feel like it really gave me strength, just knowing that God puts me in this path for a reason. I really believe that I'm in this path for a reason. And yeah, and the thing that held me is God and my family and me knowing that I'll come back home.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
When did your family find out? Have you talked with them? When did they find out you were alive, but you were held captive? Did they believe you were dead?
So on the 7th of October, while I was running for my life, my sister, she calls me and she tells me, Omer, send me your live location. And I sent her my live location. And when I got back, I realized that they've watched my point, the point on their screen going inside Gaza.
Oh.
Yeah. And a day after, they knew I was abducted. I was held hostage by Gaza. They could see there was on the same day, at 10 p.m. and on the 7th of October, there was a video of me released, of me at the back of the pickup truck, and you could see I moved and I didn't bleed anywhere. So they knew I was alive and I was held captive by Hamas.
What does the world need to know about your situation, about what happened, that maybe the American television shows such a small picture?
Yeah.
What do they need to know?
First of all, I can see a lot going on around the world. I want to say, first of all, I'm going around the world right now. I'm speaking, I'm advocating just for the hostages. There is still 53 remaining hostages still there in hell conditions. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they abuse, and at the 7th of October they raped women and they killed children. They really try to show them off as a rebel kind of army, yeah, but they're not. They are here to kill us. Yeah, they want the death of Jews. There's something that I've never said before, and it came up to my mind now. I remember at the time there was fires in Los Angeles. Yeah, you remember that? So I remember the terrorists watching it on TV, and they were so glad it happened. They were so happy. And I remember them talking. I could understand Arabic. That they're saying, "This is the big Satan. This is the big Satan, and they're supposed to burn in hell." So they're a terrorist organization. They want the death of all of us, and the 53 remaining hostages, they're staying now in inhuman conditions, and we have to get them out as soon as possible.
I'd like to end with something positive, with your being reunited with your family.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when you knew that you were going to see your family again?
Wow, it's every time I speak about my story, I tell my story. This is my favorite part. Yeah, this is and I like to speak about this part because I think that people can understand, yeah, and really hope for a good ending for all the other hostages. Yeah. So for me, I remember after the Hamas terrorists, they gave me to the Red Cross. We drove in Gaza straight into the IDF safe zone, and as we get closer, I can see suddenly tanks. Yeah, and there is the heads of soldiers popping out of the tanks and waving to me. And I get to this IDF safe zone, and over there, they open the door, and I get out of the vehicle, and I look around. I look to the sky, and I look at the soldiers, and suddenly in front of me, I look at this woman. It's an officer. Her name is Daria, and she tells me, "Omer, you're safe now. Everything is okay. Welcome home. Soon you'll see your parents again." And I look at her, and I tell her, "Can I please hug you?" And you know, after 505 days, that all I needed is as any human, yeah, a bit of warmth, a bit of love, yeah. She gave me this love, and after a couple of minutes, we drove to Israel. We crossed the border, and I remember me sitting in this kind of a living room area inside a base in Israel, and I sat on the couch, and I sat on the edge of the couch, and I looked to the door. There was a crack open, and every person that goes by, I was supposed to meet my parents, and every person that goes by, I wanted to jump on him. And I remember the door opens, and I see my parents, and we're running up to each other. And you know, we hug and we cry, and my mom, she tells me, we say in Hebrew, "Chaim sheli," my life. My mom, she tells me, my life. You're safe now. You're safe. And you know, ever since that day, we're so happy, and we're so united, and we're doing everything we can just to work on bringing back the hostages. You know, it's hard for us, yeah, but you could really see there could be a happy ending for every hostage family, for every hostage. So yeah, that's my ending, the end of story for me.
You are a remarkable man, because to hear your story, but to see you smile, the strength it must take to smile again.
Thank you.
It's an amazing thing to see.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's an honor to meet you.
It's my honor.
And I
Thank
wish
you
you
for
the
having
best.
me. Thank you.
Thank you so
for having
much.
me. Thank you.
What an incredible story. We'll be back.